Hello YouTube and welcome to another full K-drama review. Today let's talk about The Emperor, Owner of the Mask. Though I usually just searched in Master of the Mask and I found what I was looking for anyway, so this series is a little bit difficult to summarize just because of all the political maneuvering and the many players involved, but at its core it is about a prince who is trying to free his kingdom from the yoke of a ancient and corrupt group who really pull all the strings behind the court. Now, to be honest, I did not love the first 8.5 episodes of this 40-episode show. I found the characters to be actually quite stereotypical and a little bit bland, especially the male lead. He came off as very naive, and after watching him make like bad decision after bad decision, I became very irritated with him, so it became hard to really get invested in this show. So if you're feeling like Master of the Mask is just an good enough kind of show in the beginning, I would stick it out because there is a significant time jump around episode 9 that for me rebooted everything about the series. Both of our male leads go through a drastic character change. The first male lead being our prince and truly the star of the show. His acting is incredible. Oh my god. He starts out as this very sheltered character. He's lived in the palace his entire life, and then he ends up going out into the world and making bad decisions, and he doesn't understand the consequences that he's going to enact. He's
like a little baby.
But as the series goes on and as he grows and as he matures, like he literally gets older, he becomes an incredibly charismatic and caring leader that I really got behind. I wanted him to succeed so badly. Now, our secondary male lead goes through a devolution. He doesn't grow necessarily as a character in a positive way. He becomes increasingly desperate and poisoned by power. I loved it. The two characters' story arcs really mirror each other, and watching them unfold simultaneously was tremendously enjoyable and satisfying. In fact, I loved the entire cast of Master of the Mask, except for the female lead, but I'll talk about her later. The villains are deliciously evil, as they're the type of antagonists who truly believe what they're doing is, right and for the betterment of the whole, and I love those kinds of villains. No evil cackling involved. The characters are very clever, and they lead to these great twists and turns that just made this show a pure ride. This show also has a couple of really great fight sequences. They're well choreographed and shot in an interesting way. Some great use of slow-mo. In the final few episodes, there's this, I guess, a surprise battle, and at points it looks like it was shot in one take, though it probably wasn't. But you can tell just the care that the filmmakers took into crafting this show, and it just lends to a really great viewing experience. Now for my biggest problem with the show, being the female lead. Out of all the characters, she is by far the most useless. Okay, so she does have her moments, I will give her that, but her main contribution to the plot is being captured and being put in harm's way for our prince to come and save her. There's one point where the main big bad even calls her a pawn, and he's 100% correct in that description of her. A pawn is not something I look for in a female lead. I also found her relationship with our male lead to be kind of lacking and verging on unbelievable territory. You don't get a lot of them together establishing a friendship or even a romantic relationship. So it just, like, I wasn't invested in them as a romance. And then on top of that, add insult to injury, our secondary female lead is fabulous. Although she does fall in love with our male lead at first sight, and all of her decisions of consequence afterwards are in pursuit of that love, she actually does shit. She's smart, she's manipulative, she's ambitious. Ooh, I love her. And she also does something that I find to be a rare thing for secondary characters who are involved in love triangles or like a love square in this show's instance, in that she's able to recognize that her love interest, being the prince, is in love with somebody else, and she's able to recognize his happiness and let him go. Her and the male lead are by far my favorite characters of this show. Now, with all things considered, the Emperor, owner of the mask, God, that's a mouthful, I give it a solid 4 stars. If it hadn't stumbled so spectacularly out of the gate and had a female lead that I could actually get behind and root for, it would be a 5-star show. But it's still incredibly worth the watch. Alright, have a good day, have a good night, bye.